the host of the Pat McAfee Show, and as well as a Thursday night football analyst for ESPN, the one, the only, America's sweetheart himself, Pat McAfee. How are you, Pat?
Rich, I'm feeling good, and I'm thankful that a national media member has echoed the sentiments of all the people on the internet who were saying that I implored and willed the Titans to be great this year. And here we are going into the divisional round, talking about the Titans potentially ending the dynasty in New England. And it all started right there. And I'm happy that you've taken that stand because, a lot of people have been saying it. You're just the first one to do it on a national sense.
You know what, Pat? Look, I know, and I've known for quite some time, you're just a factor. You're a factor. Even when you don't think you're going to be a factor, you wind up being a factor. And that's just about it. I'm only spitting truth,
Well, I'll tell you what, though. This Tennessee Titans team has been fun to watch. Marcus Mariota, take a seat. We're bringing in Ryan Tannehill out from underneath Adam Gase's failure umbrella. Michael Vrabel says in an offseason interview with Bussin' with the Boys, he's willing to cut off his baby maker for another Super Bowl. That whole team takes on his identity. They got a running back who's 6'12", who runs a 4.4.
Yep. I
mean, they are a fun team to watch, but I think they might be running into a buzzsaw, Rich. We got a good one lined up this weekend for divisional round.
Well, Pat, when I was starting the NFL Network back in '03, where I guess you were just coming out of high school, getting ready to piss Rich Rodriguez off as much as you did, the rivalry for the Ravens was Ravens-Titans. There's Ray on one side, and there's Eddie George on another, and McNair hands the ball off to Eddie, who's running his way towards Ray Lewis. And it was on, man. I have a feeling we're going to see some sort of throwback like that. The weather's supposed to be nasty and rainy on Saturday night. I cannot wait for that one, man.
Yeah, I think just the thought of these two offensive lines have done such a good job. And I know that football became this air raid attack with fantasy football numbers and fantasy football points becoming the equivalent to rules being changed and everything like that. But with what Harbaugh did, just completely flipping his entire team to go all in on a special talent like Lamar Jackson, building up the tight end room, building up the offensive line, get a deep threat, and then that defense by bringing in Marcus Peters, it's just classic old school football, and Vrabel and the Titans and the boys play the exact same way. We're in for a slobber knocker, a slugfest.
I like it.
And in 2003, I was a sophomore in high school. I was just a little baby. I don't even think I had kicked a football in a game yet by that point. But whenever you talk about the old school
Yes.
Ray Lewis, Eddie George
I remember it, man.
conversations, you're talking about greats back then, Rich. And that's how long you've been a voice of the NFL. That's why it's an honor to talk to you.
No, stop it. Well, and then the first Super Bowl we covered, the co-MVPs were Peyton Manning and Steve McNair. And and those were the days, again, the AFC South had just been born, and the AFC North had the Ravens in it. I remember we were all just bummed. The Titans-Ravens games that we love twice a year, we're not going to have it. And now it's like running a football is what it's all about now, and being physical and running downhill. And that's why I love watching Derrick Henry do what he does. And then the fact that Vrabel's the one who won and done's the Brady Belichick Patriots like that is something else. How do you interpret Brady's comments? What do you think he's going to do, Patrick?
Man, have you ever seen somebody in a more beautiful position of leverage than Tom Brady right now?
Exactly.
I don't think I've ever seen, and he's handling it all perfectly. He's speaking very highly of Kraft, of Belichick, of the Patriots. Obviously, they're the greatest dynasty in the history of sport, not just in the NFL. But him telling Kraft before the season that after 20 years, he would like to control his own destiny, and then how the year went, whenever he was talking to his wide receivers about being something that they can't just flip a switch and be, I need you to be faster. I need you to be quicker. I need you to be more explosive. I think Tom Brady is at a point right now where he has accomplished everything. By all accounts, the greatest football player of all time, 6 Super Bowl rings, very wealthy. He's at a point now where I think he's going to tell the Patriots, listen, I need more weapons, I need better personnel, or I'm going to potentially test the waters at an NFL where I think 26 teams would be very much willing for him to be their starting quarterback. And I think he's in a good spot. I think he deserves it, and I'm excited to kind of watch it all unfold. But if you look up there, Joe Judge is out Kyle Van Noy probably out. Tom Brady potentially out. Is it the end of the New England Patriots, Rich? I will shed a tear for that.
Are you calling Joe Judge a domino that's tumbling? Is that what you just called him? Is that what you just referred to him? Is he a domino?
We watched the games this year. Defense and special teams won them their games.
Yeah.
In the special teams, Matthew Slater, who is an animal, Justin Bethel, very good. Their punter, their rookie punter, and their kickers have been an issue. But I think special teams is a massive part of their success, and that's why Bill Belichick loves the special teams aspect of the game so much. Joe Judge, I think, is going to be a great coach at the Giants, but you get that big brain out of there. You lose Van Noy potentially, and Tom. This is my childhood basically coming to an end. This is a sad situation for everybody.
Well, you were in a spot where obviously that you were in the middle of a ton of slobber knockers, to use a phrase yourself, Colts and Patriots. And I had Tony Dungy on in hour number one, and I'm saying that for two reasons. One, to drop the name of a Pro Football Hall of Famer in what normally would be an organic way. Two, also, he mentioned the Colts as the best spot for Brady. Do you think on any way possible on this green earth, knowing the Colts organization as well as you do, that that's going to happen or would happen? Do you think, Pat?
I'll tell you what. You walk around Indianapolis, you don't have to go far to ask somebody if they like Tom Brady, and they'll say they hate him. I mean, the Colts and Patriots, and you got to remember, the Indianapolis Colts weren't that big of a thing in Indianapolis. It was the Pacers, it was the Indy 500, and then when Peyton Manning got here, it became a football town. I mean, Peyton Manning flipped this town into being a football town because of the incredible run of success. But anytime they had failures, it was normally because of one handsome man who went to Michigan and played quarterback for the Patriots. And there's a lot of hate for that guy here. I think a lot of ex-players are not the biggest fan of him or the thought of him being a Colt. But if he was to come to the Colts and do well, I think everybody would love him immediately. I think it's not something that many Colts fans would desire. I don't think anybody's out there picketing for him to become a Colt, but I think if you have a chance to have the greatest of all time on your team, I would assume everybody would come around with some success.
There's no doubt about it, Pat, because, I mean, look, a diehard Yankee fan. I grew up in Staten Island, New York. I hated Wade Boggs. I thought all he did was just play wall ball off of the Fenway Park Green Monster and try and get his way to the Hall of Fame with cheap doubles and cheap triples and singles. And then he rides a horseback in Yankee pinstripes to win a championship in '96, and I love the guy. I mean, that's a fact. These are things that fans would do. And it worked for Vinatieri, too, didn't it?
Yeah, I mean, Vinatieri comes over from the Patriots to the Colts. They won a Super Bowl that first year. Now, granted, this last year hasn't been perfect for Vinatieri, but Vinatieri is loved here, beloved here. Tom Brady, obviously the face of that franchise that has disappointed the Indianapolis humans on a regular basis. But if he gets here, has success, embraces the town. By the way, great place to raise a family. Great place to raise a family. Yeah. I know he doesn't have a lot of money. Your dollar goes a long way here in Indianapolis, him and Giselle. And also the TB12 clinic would do great here in Indiana if he was ever to think about it. But as long as he has a little bit of success, they would love him here. But any general manager in the NFL would take a conversation with Tom Brady on the drop of a hat. And I think Tom knows that. And I can't wait to see it all kind of unfold.
Pat McAfee here on the Rich Eisen Show. So your Super Bowl would be what? Right now, you got 8 teams left. What did you predict? Where does it stand right now, and who'd you take if it's different?
Oh, my God. I think it's going to be Packers-Niners.
Okay.
In the NFC. Obviously, I think it's going to be Ravens-Chiefs. I think the Chiefs might win by 50 against the Texans, not because Deshaun Watson isn't incredible and J.J. Watt is inspiring and does all that. I just think they were down 16-0 to the Bills. If you get down at all to the Chiefs, I think Andy Reid and that beautiful mind will step on the throttle and step on your throat and pull it away with Patrick Mahomes. I like the Ravens beating the Titans in a close one. I think, I don't know. I have to see how the Ravens play this weekend. 2 weeks off for Lamar Jackson in that offense. I think it's going to rest up the O-line. I'd like to see how they perform this weekend to give you an exact quote, but I think it's going to be Chiefs, Ravens, Niners, Packers. Let's have a classic shootout on both sides and see what the hell happens. We're in for a good one. I think the NFL got it right here. Now, the Saints being out is a little bit worrisome in the NFC side. I thought it was going to be Saints-Niners again. I thought that was going to be cool, but for me, I think we got it right, and I think this round is going to be a beautiful one.
Well, the Ravens are in for it because not only do the Titans come to town off a big win, but they have the best weapon in the playoffs, don't they, Pat?
Yeah, I mean, Brett Kern is a guy that when the
Fact.
ball touches his hand, you know electricity is about to come from
Fact.
his right foot. I've been saying it for a couple of years. Brett
Fact.
Kern was the most underrated and underappreciated punter to ever come into the NFL. He put on a show up there in New England, but don't put it past Sam Cook and Justin Tucker to also do well up there.
No, I know.
mean, we got a big for the brain game in the AFC.
No doubt we do. And let's be honest here, Pat. We're all talking about how Brady's not going to retire off the pick six. How did the pick six get set up? You tell me, Pat. How did that ball get on the 1 yard line? You know how
There
it
was
got
a man
there.
named Brett Kern
Damn
who
straight.
saw an all-out rush, nobody back. Julian Edelman had to pick up the gunner, and he went ahead, brought out his wedge, and down that thing on the half-yard line
Yes, he
and said,
did.
"Hey, Tom, you got 15 seconds, pal. Good luck. Not on my watch."
Nobody can describe a punt quite like you, Pat. Nobody can take the words in the English language and fire them together, link them together so lyrically to describe a punt quite like you. And I also include the term piss missile in that. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, your piss missile was something. Now that wasn't a piss missile because
Nope.
you had to have a little bit of touch, but a piss missile can really change your damn game now. And if you get a hold of one and it just feels like it's just butter coming off of your foot, and you hear the piss in the crowd, you hear the woo, you know that you're in for a good one. Weather not being great in Baltimore is not beautiful for the brand, but I assume Brett Kern and Sam Cook and the boys will get through it. But yeah, I love a good punt, and I knew. Whenever I decided to retire and get into the media, after being the punter of the decade, I knew that when I got into the media, the special teams had not been talked about enough. And I knew that so much magic was happening that if I could just talk about it a little bit, the people would respond. And they have, Rich, in droves.
No doubt.
They've responded.
God bless you, because I thought I was all alone on that fact, and then you were the cavalry that came. Do you get an award for being punter of the decade? Is there like a trophy for that?
No trophy. I'm hoping for a championship belt, to be honest. I wish that I could get a championship belt that I could just walk around with. It's a pretty good title. Almost put it as my Twitter bio. Didn't want to flex too hard, but anytime you can drop it, you need to.
Well, I'll flex for you, Pat. You started this conversation by saying that I'm the national voice, the first one to talk about you and what you did in Tennessee. You, sir, are a national voice yourself. I mean, you got your show on DAZN. Westwood One, congratulations on Westwood One syndicating you. You are a national. Look at you. You're a national voice, Pat. You are.
There's too much of me, Rich, right now. And I've been showing up in new cities because CBS Sports Radio just picked us up as well.
That's right.
Every once in a while, I'll get a tweet from somebody that's never heard of me before, and they'll meet me, and they'll be like, "Slow down your talking, damn it. Slow down your speed of your voice. I'm sure it's good, but it sounds disgusting." So it's been nice getting introduced to a lot of new people. It's been a real fun time.
God bless you, Pat. Let's chat again soon, okay, man?
Hey, I'll see you down at the Super Bowl probably. You're the best. Have a good one.
Will you come on our show at the
Shabbat Shalom.
Yep. That's correct.
Oh, man. So, yeah, let's get together at the Super Bowl. Come on my show. How about a vice versa? How about a home and home? What do you think?
Well, usually your Super Bowl lineup is so big I can't crack the code. But now, getting an opportunity to be a part of that, I would love to go on your show down there. Yeah. Would obviously love to have the voice of the NFL on my show.
Done.
Make some magic down there in South Beach, and hopefully, not stop by Tootsie's.
We'll do it, Patrick. We'll chat again soon. I'll see you soon.
Hey, see you, Rich. You're the best.
Right back at you. At McAfee Show.
For more of The Rich Eisen Show, tune to Audience Channel 239 on DirecTV for free on BR Live or download the Rich Eisen Show app.